Good morning, ambassadors, presidents, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Ambassador Kanye, for your astute observations about the new economy and globalization in this digital age. I must also thank Dennis, the founder and architect of Les Etats de la France. Since its inception in 2006, Les Etats de la France has been an important forum for debating the issues that will determine the economic future of France, and by implication, every nation represented here in this audience. I'm truly honored to be here on behalf of Otis and our corporate parent, United Technologies, two of the world's great technology companies and industrial innovators. We have strong ties to France across both our aerospace and commercial portfolios. You know us for brands like Pratt & Whitney, Carrier, Seat, and Chubb, and I'm also proud to say that Ratier-Figeac, a storied name in French aviation, is part of our family. United Technologies employs over 15,000 people in France. Only the United States and China have a larger United Technologies presence anywhere in the world. We operate 13 factories here and export 75% of what we produce. We value France for many things: your productive workforce, your excellent education system, your advanced digital ecosystem, and candidly, your strategic location in the heart of Europe, which is our largest market across United Technologies outside of the United States. President Macron's victory in May represented a watershed moment for France. Now comes the hard part: transforming the French economy. The Macron government has set an aggressive timeline, giving itself 2 years to overhaul the post-war welfare system. Minister Pénicau's skillful work on labor market reform has been especially impressive as a first step in closing the performance gap between France and other nations. It's an ambitious agenda, and I applaud the emphasis on speed. Since becoming Otis president, one of my consistent themes has been the need to accelerate the pace of innovation in everything we do. I tell others that I'm naturally impatient and that change is an inherently positive thing. I've spent over 30 years in leadership roles at global technology companies and witnessed the digital revolution firsthand. We are operating in a dynamic environment that demands flexibility and speed. And we must recognize this is our new reality. At Otis and United Technologies, we believe the Macron government can succeed in its mission to make France more competitive. But government cannot work in isolation. When business, labor, and government work together we can create economic opportunity and improve people's lives. Otis has an interesting history here in France, and I think the story is very relevant to our discussion today. When Gustave Eiffel won the competition to design the Special Tower, the government at the time decided all work had to be performed by French companies. That included the design and installation of the elevator system, but there was one problem. The sharp curvature that we've all come to know and love in the tower's lower pillars posed a monumental technical challenge, and only one elevator company had the engineering expertise to do the job. That company was American-based Otis. So despite the government's initial procurement and protectionist impulse, we got this most prestigious of assignments, which was our very first in France. And when La Tour Eiffel opened for the 1889 Paris Exposition, our big, beautiful machines were such a hit that they quickly became tourist attractions themselves. It's a pretty different story here today for Otis in France, because France is playing a leading role in the transformation of Otis in the digital age. At Otis, we employ nearly 5,000 French workers, operate our Gênes factory, and maintain over 172,000 elevators and escalators across the country. But we think more of our passengers, and every day we move 30 million people through the urban centers in France, and we're dedicated to each and every passenger's safety, comfort, and peace of mind. You'll find us in some of your most iconic buildings and spaces, from La Grande Arche to Tour Carpe Diem to La Nouvelle Samaritaine, which I toured 2 weeks ago on my last trip here, to the Quai Branly Museum. We're also proud to be part of the projects that contribute to France's economic development, like the Éole Suburban Metro project. Interesting to note, we are the only elevator company manufacturing elevators here in France today. And while other companies may be pulling out in France, we are optimistic about the future here, and we're making significant investments to expand our already substantial presence here. Our Gênes factory is a tremendous case in globalization. The facility manufactures our new Gen 2 elevator, which is a state-of-the-art elevator that's rich with digital technology. We source parts for our Gênes factory from factories across Europe, and then we ship finished elevators from Gênes to customers around the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. This year, our factory is on track to ship over 12,000 elevators. And we're increasing our production capacity at Gênes, and recently, 2 weeks ago, broke ground on a new building as part of our continued investment there. Our main European research center is also located in Gênes, and tomorrow I'll be there to celebrate the inauguration of our lead design center for our next generation, our new generation of elevators. Elevators that will transform how people move in a hyper-connected digital cities of tomorrow. These elevators are examples of how data analytics, intelligent machines, and the Internet of Things are redefining how we design products, how we run factories, how we provide service, and most importantly, how we meet or exceed customer expectations in the digital age. The Design Center in Gênes is part of a global network for us that includes places like Shanghai and Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York, Shanghai, and Gênes are 3 design centers where we're working to reinvent the industry that Elijah Otis, created over 160 years ago. We believe our Gênes factory will become a model of smart design and manufacturing that will not only be a showcase for Otis, but will be a showcase for France. Why did we choose France? For leading our role in a digital transformation, there are many reasons. France is rich in opportunities to partner with leading universities and design schools. We're participating and partnering with le Centre National de la Recherche Scientifique, CNRS, on the development of a hydrogen fuel cell capable of powering elevators. The exceptional work going on at Gênes also demonstrates the strength of diversity. The engineers and technicians we have there come to us from 16 different countries and want to work here in France. We've been hiring engineering staff and plan additional investments to further expand this tremendous team of talented people. But it's not just about the engineers and the technologists at our research center or the workers on our factory floor, because here in France, we are absolutely privileged to have some of the most talented and dedicated service teams and mechanics in the world. And that's why we turn to our French mechanics to help pilot the digital technologies that will transform the world's largest elevator service portfolio. It's an ambitious project as we redefine the nature of service itself and deliver greater value for our customers. We cannot succeed without the most critical resource, people. So I was delighted when President Macron included a call for worker training programs in his labor reform initiatives. We must address the people who are entering the workforce today without the skills required for the digital economy. We need public and private sectors to join in creating an educational ecosystem to prepare people for these jobs. At Otis, when we implemented lean manufacturing in our Gênes facility, we invested and spent months training our workforce in the skills they would need to operate new systems. We also, though, have an employee scholar program at United Technologies, and over the last 20 years globally, 38,000 United Technology employees have earned degrees in this program. The company picks up the full cost and investment, which we equate to about $1.2 billion. And in France, over 150 of our employees have participated and benefited from this program. President Macron has created a vision of a new, more competitive France. I can tell you his election has inspired confidence within the international business community. Those of us here today recognize the wisdom of the policies and his policies, just like we recognize the progress achieved through the need for globalization. Innovation, free trade, and rising productivity have driven economic growth and dramatically improved people's lives. Over the last 50 years, the global economy has expanded sixfold, the average per capita income has nearly tripled, and average employee output has increased over 2.5 times. Urbanization has helped reduce poverty rates and expanded the ranks of the middle class. That middle class is expected to grow by 160 million people each year over the next 5 years globally. And yet anxiety remains. So now it's up to us. As business and political leaders, it's up to us to address these concerns and deliver the benefits President Macron has promised to a nation we see ready for change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Judy, for being with us today, but also for your very inspiring comments on a nation, and we hope you're right, that is ready for change. Je repasse à Molière, tout simplement pour vous indiquer que nous allons maintenant faire une petite pause d'1 quart d'heure et nous nous retrouverons ici à peu près 11h20. À tout à l'heure.